It was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime, a road trip across America, capturing the beauty of the open roads, national parks, and endless skies. But what started as a picturesque journey turned into a nightmare. Today, we dive deep into the tragic case of Gabby Petito, a young woman whose disappearance and death gripped the nation and sparked questions that continue to haunt us. Was it love gone wrong? Or was it something far darker? Let's explore the heart-wrenching story of Gabby Petito. Gabrielle Gabby Petito was born on March 19, 1999 in Blue Point, New York, to Nicole Schmidt and Joseph Petito. She was a vibrant, adventurous young woman, known for her free spirit and love of the outdoors. Gabby had always dreamed of exploring the world, documenting her travels, and sharing her experiences with others. Like so many of her generation, she was a social media enthusiast, using platforms like Instagram and YouTube to chronicle her adventures. In July 2021, Gabby and her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, set off on a cross-country road trip in a white Ford Transit van, intending to document their travels and live the so-called van life dream. They appeared to be a picture-perfect couple, young, adventurous, deeply in love. But as we now know, not everything was as it seemed. The trip began as an exciting adventure. Gabby and Brian posted stunning photos from some of America's most beautiful national parks: Zion, Bryce Canyon, and Grand Teton, to name a few. They shared videos and snapshots of their seemingly carefree journey, but behind the Instagram filters, there were darker moments taking shape. By mid-August, the cracks in their relationship were starting to show. On August 12, 2021, in Moab, Utah, police were called to respond to a domestic dispute between Gabby and Brian. Body cam footage from that day would later become a chilling glimpse into the dynamics of their relationship. In the video, Gabby is seen crying, visibly distressed, while Brian appears calm and collected. Though Gabby took responsibility for the argument, some have speculated that this was a classic case of emotional manipulation. Despite the tension, the couple was not charged with any crime. The police advised them to separate for the night, but no further action was taken. The incident, however, raised red flags that something wasn't right in their relationship. The couple continued their road trip, but by late August, Gabby's family began to worry. Her regular communication with them had stopped. The last time Gabby's mother, Nicole Schmidt, heard from her daughter was via text on August 27th. The text read, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." Stan was Gabby's grandfather, but her mother found the message odd because Gabby never referred to him by his first name. Days passed, and there was no word from Gabby. The alarm was raised, and on September 11, 2021, Gabby's family officially reported her missing. The search for her began immediately, and the public's attention soon focused on Brian Laundrie, who had returned to Florida in the couple's van, alone. Brian arrives home in Florida on September 1st, and immediately there are questions. Gabby's family, friends, and even casual followers of the couple's adventure had noticed her absence online. What was once a shared journey between two people in love had suddenly, and without explanation, become a solo trip for Brian. Why wasn't Brian helping with the search? What had happened to Gabby? And why wasn't anyone getting answers? Gabby's family, unable to reach her, begins to worry. But when they try to reach Brian and his family for answers, they get silence. On September 11th, after more than a week with no contact, Gabby's family reports her as a missing person to the Suffolk County Police Department in New York. As the investigation unfolds, details about the couple's journey and their relationship start to surface. Police quickly turn their focus toward Brian, who is now refusing to cooperate with authorities. Public pressure builds as people demand answers. Why won't Brian speak up? Why are the Laundries refusing to cooperate? In a rare move, social media becomes central to the investigation. Thousands of amateur sleuths pore over Gabby's photos, dissecting every image and video for clues. The hashtag #FindGabbyPetito trends on multiple platforms, drawing attention from around the world. People speculate about every aspect of the case, from Brian's odd behavior to possible sightings of Gabby. This digital search effort is unprecedented and highlights the power and challenges of public involvement in an ongoing investigation. The heartbreaking case of Gabby Petito captivated people worldwide, and on September 19, 2021, it reached a tragic turning point. After weeks of searching, investigators located a body in Bridger Teton National Forest in Wyoming, close to the last place Gabby was seen. The discovery confirmed everyone's worst fears, bringing some answers, but also raising haunting questions. This is the story of that heartbreaking discovery and the evidence that changed everything. FBI officials held a press conference announcing the discovery of a body matching Gabby Petito's description. Located in the Spread Creek dispersed camping area of Bridger Teton National Forest, it was a place Gabby and Brian had reportedly visited on their cross-country trip. For many, this news confirmed what they feared but dreaded hearing, that Gabby might not be coming home. Bridger Teton National Forest is a vast, remote wilderness with mountainous terrain and dense forest. Known for its beauty and isolation, this forest draws adventurers from all over, including Gabby and Brian. Spread Creek itself is a dispersed camping area where campers can set up outside of traditional campsites in some of the park's most secluded areas. It's here, in one of these hidden spots, that Gabby's remains were found. Search teams had zeroed in on this area thanks to a tip from a travel blogger couple who posted a video showing Gabby and Brian's white Ford Transit van parked along the road near Spread Creek. The couple didn't realize it at the time, but their footage provided the breakthrough that led authorities to this very location. After the discovery, an autopsy was conducted on Gabby's remains. On September 21st, the Teton County coroner officially confirmed the identity as Gabby Petito and classified her death as a homicide. A few weeks later, the coroner provided further details, revealing that Gabby's cause of death was strangulation, and it was estimated to have occurred 3 to 4 weeks prior to the discovery. Strangulation is a deeply personal and violent act, often suggesting a close relationship between the victim and the perpetrator. The coroner's findings pointed to an intentional, brutal end to Gabby's life, one that would forever leave her family and friends devastated and searching for justice. As news of the discovery spread, an outpouring of grief and support flooded social media. People who had followed the case felt the impact of Gabby's loss, sharing messages of love and sorrow with the hashtag #JusticeForGabby. Gabby's parents were heartbroken, yet they used their tragedy to inspire action, thanking the public for their support and beginning the difficult journey of seeking justice for their daughter. Gabby's family later founded the Gabby Petito Foundation, which is dedicated to helping families and individuals affected by domestic violence. In the words of her father, Joe Petito, Gabby's spirit still moves us, and her story will live on, hopefully making a difference for others in her memory. With Gabby's death officially confirmed as a homicide, attention turned back to the main person of interest, Brian Laundrie. As the investigation continued, Brian went missing just days after Gabby's body was found. He reportedly left his parents' home in Florida, heading into the nearby Carlton Reserve, a vast and swampy area where he'd often gone hiking. Law enforcement began an extensive search, scouring the reserve for any sign of him, but weeks passed with no leads. The discovery of Gabby's body provided answers, but it also raised new questions. People wondered why Brian hadn't reported Gabby missing after returning to Florida alone. Why did he avoid speaking to her family and the police? What happened in the days following her death? And most hauntingly, What was Gabby's last day like? Following Gabby's disappearance, Brian Laundrie had returned home to Florida, where he stayed with his family. But on September 13th, shortly after Gabby was reported missing, Brian himself disappeared. His parents claimed he had gone for a hike in the Carlton Reserve, a vast wilderness area in Florida. This sparked a massive search effort. Law enforcement scoured the dense, swampy landscape, searching for any trace of Brian. As the search continued, the public became increasingly frustrated with the lack of information from Brian's family. Why weren't they cooperating? Why had Brian vanished in the first place? For weeks, law enforcement searched the Carlton Reserve, using helicopters, drones, and K-9 units. Meanwhile, protests erupted outside the Laundrie family home, with people demanding justice for Gabby. After weeks of intensive searching, on October 20th, 2021, authorities located partial human remains in Florida's Carlton Reserve, an area Brian was known to frequent. Items belonging to him, including a backpack and notebook, were also found nearby. These personal items provided a chilling confirmation, and on October 21st, the FBI officially identified the remains as those of Brian Laundrie through dental records. The Carlton Reserve is a dense, swampy wilderness, known for its dangerous wildlife and difficult terrain. Heavy flooding in the weeks prior had covered much of the area, making the search extremely challenging. The fact that Brian's remains were only found after water levels receded added a strange element to this case, fueling public speculation about what really happened and how long he had been there. Even after his remains were confirmed, the discovery left many questions. Why did Brian go into the reserve, knowing he might not survive? Did he plan to take his own life, or did something else happen? These questions, paired with the mysterious timing of his family's assistance in locating the remains, led to a surge in conspiracy theories. Some questioned whether Brian's parents knew more than they had revealed, or if they had deliberately misled authorities to buy time for Brian. Online, the case became a breeding ground for speculation, with thousands questioning whether the timing of Brian's parents' help in locating him was a coincidence. Many wondered if Brian had tried to escape justice, or if his death was somehow planned as a final act to avoid facing the consequences. Brian's backpack and notebook, found near his remains, became focal points in the investigation. Although much of what was inside has not been publicly disclosed, the FBI later revealed that the notebook contained notes that could connect him to Gabby's death. This added more weight to the suspicions against Brian, even though no formal charges had been filed against him for homicide before his death. The discovery of Brian's body closed a chapter in the investigation, but left behind countless questions. His actions, from refusing to speak to authorities to disappearing under mysterious circumstances, only deepened the public's suspicion. Gabby's family and supporters continue to search for justice and answers, but with Brian's death, many of those answers might never be fully revealed. Brian Laundrie's death has left a lasting shadow over this tragic case. Though the investigation has ended, the public will forever wonder what happened in those final days. Thank you for watching, and let's remember Gabby Petito, whose story continues to resonate as a symbol in the fight against violence and for justice. Gabby Petito's case had a profound impact, not just on her family and friends, but on the world at large. Her story brought attention to the issue of domestic violence and the ways in which it can be hidden behind the guise of a seemingly perfect relationship. Gabby's family has since established the Gabby Petito Foundation, aimed at helping other families dealing with missing loved ones and raising awareness about domestic abuse. Gabby Petito was a young woman with her whole life ahead of her. What happened to her was devastating, but through her story, we are reminded of the importance of love, safety, and justice. If there's one thing we can take from this tragedy, it's that we should never ignore the signs of trouble in any relationship. We may never know all the details of what happened between Gabby and Brian, but one thing is clear: Gabby's light will never be forgotten. Thank you for joining us today as we remember Gabby Petito. If you or someone you know is in a situation where help is needed, please ask for help. Stay safe, stay kind, and keep Gabby's memory alive.